So, good morning, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So, myself, Dr. Nandini R. This in third semester, I'll be teaching you all smart materials and structures, which is your professional elective for. Okay. So, before starting, please make the webcam on at least for a while. Let me just have an introduction of you guys. Sandesh, Mohanambal, Mithun, and Danush. Hi. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Kindly make the webcam on at least for the first session for a few minutes. Later, when we start, we can just make the webcam on. So, how the life is going on in this COVID-19? Where do you stay, Sandesh? Okay, in Bangalore only. Fine. So, Mohan Ambar?
Yeah, ma'am. Me also Bangalore.
Bangalore only. Okay, why your webcam is not on? Danush? Hi.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. So, how are you? Where do you stay?
I stay in Bangalore only, ma'am.
Okay. May I know which subject I'll be handling to you guys? Have you checked the timetable?
Yeah, ma'am. Smart
Syllabus?
Yes,
materials
ma'am.
and structures.
Yeah, smart materials and structures. So, which is your professional elective 4? So, that is been assigned to you all in this academic year for the third sem. So, like you are into masters, you have completed your graduation. So, what is your area of field of interest? You are into machine design. Don't say that machine design is your area of interest. That is your specialization. In that, which subject you have identified as your interested one, which can help you to carry forward? Yeah, we'll start up with Sandesh.
I mean, I want to analyze the structures and machine part. I'll go in
Mm.
that direction. Analysis.
Okay, which kind of structures?
Uh, it should be related to automotive.
Automotive structures. Have you did any groundwork related to it? Yeah, exactly. Now, currently, what is the current trend in developing the structures related to automotive? Many period of long vacation you people had in this COVID-19. Did you try to use it in some useful way related to your area of interest?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
I need the frank answer. If it is
Yes, ma'am.
yes, yes. Okay. May I know how you proceeded it with?
I learned the softwares, ma'am.
Which softwares you
SolidWorks,
learned? Okay.
SolidWorks, and HyperMesh.
Okay.
Abacus, I knew I did it little bit.
Okay. So that's fine. That helps you in your final project, basically, in which area you select your work. Good, something you have done. Yeah. Next, Danush. I think your mic is muted.
Sorry, ma'am.
Yeah.
I really have a passion about aeronautical field, ma'am. Aeronautical structures, those creating turbulence, those study related to variations of flight structures, like those fields, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So you have any background of project done in your BTech related to it?
No, ma'am. Actually, presently I'm in MTech. I'm planning to do about it, ma'am.
Okay, that's good. So this subject helps you in many ways related to structures, related to aerodynamic applications. Also, what you felt related to aerodynamics are also you have many applications related to smart materials. Smart material has a huge bifurcation of classifications. I'll tell you in general what all it is. Okay, so let me go back with Mohan Ambal.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please let me know. What is your area of interest? You are already in masters doing machine design specialization and you're in second year.
Yeah, ma'am. Analysis on the materials, like on fracture mechanics, like how the materials behaves and all. To analysis
Okay.
on that.
Okay. Have you related something to some applications?
Not it, ma'am. Should do it.
Okay, fine. So at least you have some ray of hope, some area in which you want to dig in to excel well. Because that agenda or the goal should be in the mind when you are in the master level. In BTech, it's okay. Some project has been given, you will work on it for the sake of the degree. But when it comes to MTech, it is the sole project what you do that plays a vital role in your career and adding weightage to your CV. So you should do the right innovative type of project so that it helps you to put forward in a better way when you go out to some industry or any company, or if you are well versed doing a research, good, you can do a patent, open your own firm. It depends whether you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to work under someone, or if you have any other keen interest to excel in life. There are many goals. We cannot force anything to anyone. It depends upon your dreams, your needs and desires, how you want to uplift your life, right? So irrespective of the goals and agenda, this subject, smart materials and structures, plays a very important role in this growing technology, right? So before going to the actual syllabus, so what it makes you to understand when you hear the word smart materials and structures? Have you learned anything about the word smart materials? Or what it could be? Have you thought about? It has to be an interactive session, please. Dhanush, ready to tell something?
Ma'am, smart materials is like a combination of different like materials, so that the output of that material will be somewhat more improved than the base materials, ma'am.
Then how it is different from a composite material then?
Composite materials are similarly same, ma'am. Similar to it,
Then
ma'am.
how do you differentiate, my dear? Even in composite materials, you will be adding 2 or 3 materials together to get the required set of functional properties, right? In smart materials also, you can combine and club, but these materials will be having some tendency within themselves so that they can react to the external environment and get the required output. So those are called as the functional properties, which they can change with respect to the surrounding environment. So that bringing out the change in providing the functional properties will not be available in composite materials, because you told aerodynamics applications you want to focus on. So just designing a wing of an aeroplane needs many properties, right? From the material selection, it should be very light, and when it flies at the high sky, if anything happens, it should be having the properties to overcome that and substantiate with respect to the external surrounding. So to get all those set of properties, you will mix 2 or 3 composite material, and you see that the minimum functional properties to manufacture that wing is being achieved from the material what you are developing by combination of those materials, that is composite. But when we come for smart materials, there are n number of smart materials, like it is piezoelectric material, it is self-healing material, shape memory polymers. Now I just speak about self-healing material and shape memory polymers. You have 2 different modules in your syllabus. Okay, so self-healing is a material which will be having some N capsules of healing agent. So if you mix that self-healing material and shape memory polymer, what does the word shape memory polymer tells? It has some memory kind of thing in it, means it will be able to get back the geometry of the product which has been designed. So if you club self-healing material and shape memory polymer together and manufacture a wing, suppose that flight is being on air flying, some minute accident comes and there is a little bit of crack which has been taken place in one of the wing of the plane, right? So if that wing is developed by using self-healing material and shape memory polymer, so it will be having the microcapsules with the healing agent, right? So where the crack has started, it penetrates until it reaches that healing capsule. So when it reaches the healing capsule, the healing agent within that will pass through the penetration and it covers that path. So this shape memory polymer which is there within it, which helps in getting back the geometry based on the memory structure what it has to around 95 to 97%. So this type of things which come suddenly or accidentally, where the human beings cannot interfere and fine tune immediately, that could be possible. So all these process which has been taken could be controlled or visualized in a system by using our optical fibers. So this is only one example what I am telling. So there are many applications related to this kind of material. Okay. So you can cultivate many thoughts, many ideas related to your area of application. So only I asked which is your area of application. Fine. So this is about self-healing material, shape memory alloys. Then we have a material called as piezoelectric. So what do you understand from piezoelectric material?
It converts mechanical to electrical or vice versa.
Converts mechanical?
To electrical.
Yes. And vice versa is possible or not?
It's possible.
Possible.
Is possible. Yes. Can you tell me any applications on it?
Weighing machine. Weighing machines.
Huh?
Weighing machines.
Weighing machine. Yeah, okay, that one thing, fine. So no, when it comes for large scale production, I'm asking, because the piezoelectric material will not be directly a piezoelectric material. You have to develop from many starting powders. It could be lead based piezoelectric material, it could be lead free piezoelectric material. Lead based piezoelectric materials are banned already due to its toxicity. So now people are striving day and night to identify a compatible lead-free piezoelectric material. So that could be for various applications. Like now the trend is generating the electrical power. So it could be used for energy harvesting applications also. So when you apply the load, based on the load applied on that piezoelectric material, that equivalent amount of electricity will be generated. But the amount of electricity which will be generated is very negligible, and that amount of micro or millivolts what we get is not enough in order to meet the requirement of our today industries or any domestical applications. So we have to try to add some dopants which helps in enhancing the electrical power. So based on that, we have different lead-based piezoelectric materials and lead-free piezoelectric materials. So that can be used for fine-tuning latest applications. One I can tell you is like the smart roads. If we embed these piezoelectric generators on the road, and when the vehicle moves on, the amount of stress which has been embedded on the road could be converted into the electrical power. If you connect that to the generators, that helps in storing the electrical power and utilizing when it is needed. So this kind of generating electrical power could be stored and be used in the villages or in some industries where there is shortage of electrical power. So many useful type of applications you can focus on for your career based on the strong subject, smart materials and structures. So this is the third kind of. And one more, we have magnetostrictic material. So as it is piezoelectric, it will help in shooting out the electrical power. Similarly, magnetostrictic material, it helps in generating the magnetic potentials based on some applications which are related. So these are the major type of smart materials which are currently available, and research is done almost towards like 80 to 85%, and they are striving to get most economical products also. Some products are already there in the market. So these are just information related to smart materials. But our syllabus speaks about smart materials and structures. So you have to relate the smart materials, what you study, to some kind of structures so that you can visualize the actual product, what you are developing in the form of structures. So we have the combination of smart materials along with the structures correlating to an entire product. So you will be learning in depth the types of smart materials and how you correlate to some physical structures, which material you are using for which physical structure that you will deal about. So this is just an information related to our subject. Hope you are understanding. If any doubts, you are free to ask. I think Srinidhi has joined now. You are there. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, good morning. So, we will be taking care of smart materials and structures as a part of your professional elective 4. Okay. So now I'll just share a PPT just to explain you our syllabus, basically what it is. Is the screen visible, guys? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So the code is 18 CAE 331, which lies under our professional elective 4. So coming to the marks distribution, again, you have a CIE marks of 40 and semester and examination for 60. Examination duration will be 3 and it is a 4-hour credit. It is not a 3-hour credit. So please be careful. Okay, it is a 4-hour credit course. So we have some of the course objectives. What is the main thing you will be learning here is to understand the basic concepts of functional material, smart material, and smart systems. Functional material is nothing but all the smart materials are called as functional materials. They fall under a huge area of material classification, what we call it as advanced functional material. So within advanced functional material, you're just studying a small gist of it, a part, what we can say, related to smart material. Then you will correlate that to smart system, because it should not happen that you will understand how the smart material function and you won't come to know its product if you won't develop a smart system. You have to develop a smart system to understand how its functional properties do work. So this is the basic learning objective, what you understand from your course. The second one is we have to expose you people to design some smart structures for any advanced engineering applications. So only I asked you like which are your area of interest so that you can at least design one minimum smart structure based on your area of application. It is not restricted that you have to go only related to some product in mechanical, some are interested in aerospace, automobile, or anything else, right? So you can somehow manage, because materials are used everywhere to manufacture a product. Based on the product what you want to manufacture, you will select the materials. So without material you cannot get any product, and hence it plays a vital role everywhere. So these two are the learning objectives what you have to learn as a student from our elective smart materials and structures. And lastly, you have a small gist of MEMS embedded to your module, which is nothing but micro electromechanical systems. So here we introduce some concepts of shape memory alloys. I told you what is shape memory polymers already. Okay, so using this shape memory alloys, ER and MR fluids, we will just throw light on MEM and its applications. So these are the 3 learning objectives from our subject. I hope the learning objectives are clear enough.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
See, it is a huge syllabus. You have 5 modules of each 10 hours. Looking at the module, it might seem it is very easier and simple. It is very, I don't say it is complex and complicated. Understanding in depth is very essential to score good marks, not only to score good marks, to excel in your career. By using this concept for your project will be the ultimate goal when you succeed in learning something new related to smart materials. That should be your aim after learning. It is not like you learn and just leave it without taking any implications on it. You should try to do something after you learn what it is. So the first module is related to the smart structures. So here you will be studying what do you mean by a smart structure. A smart structure could be done only by combination of smart materials, so that you will come in to know. So which are the type of smart structures available? Like what is the potentiality of the smart structures? Which are the key elements, applications, this you will study in general. After studying about the smart structures, then you should understand which type of smart materials are there one by one. You cannot study everything together. So in first module, we start up with piezoelectric material. So you will learn what is an piezoelectric material in depth, which are the properties associated with it, how do you derive piezoelectric constitutive relations. So this is the basic thing what you have to understand. Without understanding this constitutive relations, you cannot do any mathematical modeling of it, because doing the mathematical modeling is very essential to check the simulation before you come to an end product. So this also you will be having. And then dipoling and coercive field. See, piezoelectric and dipoling and poling and coercive field will go hand in hand. I told you piezoelectric material cannot be done by a single raw material. You will use like 3 to 4 materials. Suppose if you're thinking about lead-free piezoelectric material, you should have like few starting elements like potassium carbonate, sodium carbonate, niobium pentoxide. So clubbing these 3 starting materials, you will just create the nanomaterials of it by using either ball milling or any conventional solid state techniques. So you will get the raw piezoelectric material, in fine-tuned way, but still it will not be termed as piezoelectric because the material has to be subjected to heat treatment. So we'll do calcination process such that the required chemical reaction between the starting material takes place. So we get the required combination and a system of piezoelectric. So once you get the ready material, which is called to be as piezoelectric material, it cannot shoot out the electrical signals if you apply the load. Why? Poling is very much essential because in any piezoelectric material, ions will be displayed in different directions. So when you apply the electrical signal in the type of voltage, then all the orientations will be in a single line. So then we can say that the piezoelectric material developed is polarized. When it is polarized, at that time when you apply the load, it can generate the electrical signal. If it is dipoled, no poling is done, that material will not be having any capacity to generate the electrical signal. So this is what you will be learning in dipoling and poling. So coercive field comes along with it, vice versa, because when you apply some load to the material, electric signal will be generated. So that electrical signal generated will be retained for certain period of time. Okay, so that is based on the coercive field. So that you will understand. And when you apply the load, the stress and the strain relation comes into picture. And hysteresis you have already studied in your material science. And related to piezoelectric, you will understand the hysteresis loop. So if the piezoelectric material has the ferroelectric nature, then only the hysteresis loop will be comfortable in analyzing. So that you will come in to know. And what do you mean by creep and strain effects? Okay, the inchworm linear motor. So all these are in-depth mechanisms what you have to understand related to piezoelectric material. So that we will take care of. Then it comes to beam modeling. And with beam modeling, which type of strain effects you will be analyzing? Again, the inchworm linear motor, based on beam modeling, you will understand. So you will study inchworm linear motor based on piezoelectric material separately. And then using this constitutive relations, we will develop the beam modeling. So in this beam modeling, you will understand again inchworm linear motor beam modeling based equations. So once you are done with it, we can relate the piezoelectric material to some applications. So one of it, what we are focusing here is single actuators, or it could be dual actuators, right? So these are the some type of actuators what we will be studying. And then we will relate this mathematical model of beam to Bernoulli-Euler beam model. So once this is done, we have some minimum simple problems related to Bernoulli-Euler beam model. So after that, you will just throw some light on, in general, what are the piezoelectric applications. So this entire thing is for 10 hours in module 1. So then we will come for module 2. So module 2 speaks about shape memory alloys. I told you shape memory alloys or polymers will be having some memory in it, which helps in bringing back the geometry back. But this alone cannot get back the geometry back. It has to be mixed with self-healing materials. I have explained related to this concept to you before. So in module 2, you will understand what is the experimental procedure in order to develop this shape memory alloys. So once the shape memory alloys is developed, then you will focus on shape memory effect, whether the shape memory effect is playing properly or not. Means this is a functional aspect. You have to check. You will scrap the given material, given device made up of shape memory alloy, and you will observe whether it is able to come back in recovering the geometrical part of it. So this will understand what percentage of shape memory effect the material what you have synthesized has in it. It's not necessary that all the device what you develop will be having 99.9% of memory effect in it. It depends upon how you have synthesized without any contamination, how you have fine-tuned the shape memory alloys so that you can get the best maximum shape memory effect. So it goes on with trial and error only. So once you understand the shape memory effect, then you will come to know about the phase transformation. When you develop a material and subject to some experimentation, lot amount of phase transformation within the material comes into picture. It can come from orthorhombic to tetrahedron, from tetrahedron to rhombohedron phase, depending upon whether it's at room temperature, at high temperature, depending upon which type of load you are subjecting. So based on that, there will be numerous change in the material properties of the device through which it is made. So based on that, the changes of phase you will be understanding. So once you understand these three concepts, we have to derive a small constitutive model similar to that of piezoelectric constitutive relations. Okay, so this is called as Tanka's constitutive model, which speaks about only shape memory material. Okay, it is nothing much related with piezoelectric. So once these constitutive models are derived, you can use this mathematical modeling equation to develop any kind of application. So we'll be just focusing here on testing of shape memory alloy wires. So whether it is working properly or not. Before that, even if you are good enough in some simulation software, you can embed this constitutive model and check how a SMA wire works, whether it is working successfully or not. And then you should understand the vibration control which happens in shape memory alloys, and what are the applications and what are the problems associated with shape memory alloys. And then you come across in understanding magnetic rheological fluids, energical rheological fluids, what are it, how it is related to shape memory alloys. So after that, some mechanisms and some properties of this fluid you will be understanding. So when you come across MR fluids, you should understand the composition of this fluid also. So how to tackle to get a good composition of fluid, and how the behavior of this fluid will be different for different compositions, that you will be understanding. Then you have a small part related to Bingham plastic and related models. So these are basic models which are developed already by many researchers to test how these shape memory alloys could be used for different applications. So once these models are ready, it is very easy to develop into an product. Or else you have to dig from the material, create the mathematical modeling equation, check the simulation, run the trial, whether it works properly, then come for experimentation part, then do it, and then make the device making. It is very long way what we have to go. So related to the materials, some people have worked and developed mathematical models. Inventing mathematical models is very respective work in this area of research. So based on that, many applications could be fine-tuned. And once these are done, you will then understand what is the yield response you are getting for different types of models, and what is the pre-yield and the post-yield depending upon the flow applications in which you are using. So we are focusing here the flow applications only in clutches, dampers and any other related to our syllabus. So this is about our module 2. So it is for 8 hours compared to the first module. This is little bit less, okay, but still 8 hours is not an less part. You have to be very studious in understanding each module. And then comes module 3. So module 3 is related to vibration absorbers. Absorbers in the sense, what do you understand by the word absorbers? Can you throw some light on it, Sandesh?
Which reduces the impact.
Yes, reduces the impact. So have you thought about some material which could reduce the impact?
Talk of this one. And
Hello?
polymers,
Yeah, in polymers we can
we
even
arrange the polymers in a hexagonal or honeycomb pattern. We can absorb the impacts.
Yes. So if these polymers or any type of composite materials have this kind of nature of absorbing, so it could be used for many applications. So related to that only, here we will be focusing on vibration based absorbers. So these absorbers will be able to overcome the vibration and its field, so that the human will not feel like any vibrations if it is occurring very near to them also. So here we first understand the overview of the damping vibration part, which comes across in series as well as parallel. And then you have to understand about active vibration absorbers. So how it functions, how it could be developed. So whereas the active continuous vibrations which prolong for a long period of time, how it could be tackled. And in order to identify all these, there should be some connectivity to a computer with the help of fiber optics. So fiber optics plays a very vital role in sensing these vibrations and communicating to the controller to overcome these aspects. So you have to understand some gist and information about fiber optics. Fiber optics has huge application not only in mechanical field, electrical, electronics, even in case of computer science, everywhere, information science. This fiber optics is used today, every day, in many cases to build the IT infrastructures also. So where when you have different centers across India, yeah, across the world, using this fiber optics, router configuration, all the departments and the centers could be connected together, and all the data source could be grabbed into a single respiratory system. This much amount of strong information and capabilities are available with fiber optics. So you'll be able to know the gist of that also. Then it comes to some physical phenomena, what you have to understand based on the absorbers as well as the fiber optics. Nothing will work without connecting it to a sensor. Even if the fiber optics has to work and provide the signal to the controller through the system, it should be embedded with some kind of sensors. So then only it can sense any disruption or any positive thing which is happening. So that could be communicated to the controller. So even a sensor plays a vital role. And in today's world, there are n number of sensors made by n number of materials. Like it could be pressure sensor, it could be gas sensor, or whatever, for biomedical sensors, chemical sensors, based on the applications which are needed. So you will understand the concept of sensors also. And mainly fiber optics in crack detection. I told you one example related to aerospace application. I told, like, if we combine the self-healing material and shape memory polymer together and develop a wing, it can be able to regain its geometry with the help of self-healing. That penetration of the crack can be healed with the healing agent what it has. So this is the concept behind it. What is it called? Fiber optics in crack detection. So this happens in here. The person who is sitting within the earth should understand these concepts. So this fiber optics helps in identifying or sensing the crack through the sensors which are embedded in the air wing. So when a crack comes, it could be penetrated until the healing material, and that healing material will cover the crack. So that thing will be sensed and given to the controller who is sitting in the any place within the earth. So this is the just for knowing you the importance of fiber optics in determining the crack detection. This is the one application what I told of mine what I have studied. So apart from that, as per your syllabus, there could be n number of application. I'm just explaining you the things what I have learned, because my area of research is related to smart materials and structures. I'm just explaining you the concepts in a practical way related to the module what you'll be studying. So in the module, you will be understanding still more other applications related to it. So the remaining part of the third module is control of structures. I told you structures will be developed by using smart materials. It could be any smart material, or it could be combination of 2-3 smart materials. But all the structures what you develop by using smart materials should be controlled in one or the other way. It should be having some constraints. If it is not there, then you cannot control the smart structures. It works by itself as per its desires without any constraints. So you won't get the required yield or the output as from those structures. And hence you should know how to control these structures. So for that, you should develop some control strategies. To develop some control strategies, based on the constraints, you should develop some modeling equations. Remember, in every module, you have the modeling equations. Related to piezoelectric, you had constitutive relations related to those shape memory alloys. You had Tanka's constitutive model. And again, related to vibration absorbers also. In the part of control of structures, you have to develop the modeling equations. So based on this modeling, the strategies how to control this structure will be defined. Okay. So once this is done, then you will realize what are the limitations which come across in constraining a structure. Once you understand the strategies and limitations, you can put forward which are the structures which could be active and which could be practiced in real time. So this is just a brief information about the module 3, what you will be understanding on the topic vibration absorbers. So then comes module 4. Module 4 speaks about MEMS. Have you heard about the word MEMS? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
What is it?
Okay.
I told you in the beginning also.
Microelectromechanical system.
Good. So it is called microelectromechanical systems. So this is a combination of mechanical as well as the electronical part, which has played a vital role since last 10 to 15 years. You can say more than a decade, but still people are working on it with different applications. So you will be understanding the mechanical properties of these MEMS materials, microelectromechanical systems. We develop some cantilever. We will embed a patch of piezoelectric layer, a biomorph, a unimorph, multi-layer if needed. And we apply the load and see the modes of frequency, what you're getting to and from motions, and through that, how the energy is harvested. So this is one of the application of MEMS. And this MEMS could be designed in thin films, in microfilms, as well as in bulk cantilever structures. But the application remains the same. If it is in thin film, we use vibrometry, Doppler effect instrument, and if it is in bulk, we need to develop a shaper which vibrates. It is a manual constructed one where you will check the amount of displacement what you're getting. So based on the displacement what you get, then you will determine the output current, how much you are getting, all those parameters. So these associated to these, you will be studying the mechanical properties of MEMS material, which materials could be used for MEMS. All smart materials cannot be used for MEMS application. So you'll understand which are the basic MEMS material which are suitable. And that's what I told you, scaling of mechanical system. This MEMS device could be done at nano level, at micro level, and at the bulk level. So you can scale these mechanical systems based on the requirement. As the scaling is done, the enhancement you will receive in the properties, the functional properties. So the thin film MEMS will yield in more voltage than that of the bulk material, because the fine tuning will be very keen in case of as the scaling is reduced. After this, you will understand the fundamental concepts of MEMS. It is a theoretical approach. So once you understand the fundamental theoretical approach, then you will come for intrinsic characteristics of MEMS. So what are the characteristics which are associated in MEMS that you will be understanding here? So after that, there is a small part what you have to understand. It's about miniaturization and microelectronics integration. Miniaturization is nothing but reducing it, again the scale reduction. So it is just like a prototype of the actual thing what you want to achieve. So we'll understand the concept of miniaturization here. And this cannot work without the concept of electronics I told. So how the microelectronics is integrated to the mechanical system, so that you will understand. So this is about the fourth module what you study. It just looks in 3 lines. Again, it is for matter of 10 hours. Means you are in master level. You should be able to dig the reference book along with the textbooks. Then only it helps you in gaining more understanding and gaining more knowledge. Okay. So this is about the MEMS device. And then comes the last module, which is purely restricted only for device making. Okay. So you will learn many types of materials. How many materials you will study? One is the piezoelectric material, right? Then you will study the shape memory alloys. Then you discuss about the materials which are keen enough in absorbing vibration mode of thing. Then you will understand the materials for MEMS. So after knowing 4 types of materials, then you have to correlate that to making some devices. So here you will focus on how to make an device related to sensors and actuators, and how to enhance the conductivity in semiconductors. All piezoelectric materials are dielectric materials. It will be not having any conductivity in it. If we want to make that as a piezoelectric material, it has to be in semiconductor nature. Means we need to add some material as a dopant so that it enhances the conductivity system to certain extent in the dielectric material, so that it could be claimed as a semiconductor. Sometimes you can add multi-wall CNTs as a dopant to the piezoelectric material. These CNTs are good conductor of electricity. So it slightly helps in improving the conductivity in the dielectric material, so that you can help in getting the required semiconductors. So all these you have to understand. And here you'll be understanding the crystal planes and orientation. See, when you have a piezoelectric material at room temperature, then heat treatment carries out. At that, the crystal changes from one plane orientation to another. It could be 100 plane, it could be 101 plane, it could be 111 plane. So based on that, you will classify which is the crystal structure, the lattice structure you are getting. And those lattice structure can be oriented. Okay, so this happens with the dipole orientation. I told all the piezoelectric material will be done with an polarization. Once it is done with the polarization, the dipoles gets oriented to the required crystal lattice. So all these you will understand here. And based on it, you will also understand how the variation in stress and strain comes into picture, because you're making fine-tuning so many changes in piezoelectric material. Obviously, there'll be change in stress and strain. So how does this stress and strain relation changes? So that you will understand. And later you have to speak about the bending analysis, right, related to MEMS. So every MEMS will be having a cantilever. So when you have a cantilever, you will add some load at the tip of the cantilever, and you have to study the shear force, the bending moment which comes into picture. So you will do the flexural beam bending analysis using normal simple loading conditions. Even applying load on MEMS cantilever has different loading conditions. So here we'll be focusing on very simple loading conditions, loading only at the tip, not across the starting where it has been constrained with some degrees. Okay. After that, you will relate this MEMS applications for polymer based MEMS as well as optical based MEMS application. So overall, in the last module, you will study about the applications which are possible by using these materials. If they would have related to some structures also directly, even these are structures only, some complicated structures, if it was there in the syllabus, then it would have helped you to understand the combinations of many smart materials together, like combining the piezoelectric, shape memory alloys, along with that of some materials which has the capability of absorbing the vibrations and all. So this helps in developing a complex structure using more than one smart material. That is not there in your syllabus, but it will be still more complicated but interesting to achieve something in life. So that is more advanced, which is not there in the syllabus. So this is about the entire syllabus, what we will be studying in our third sem under professional elective 4. So by the end of this semester, you will be understanding the behavior and application of all type of smart materials, what I told you today. And you will learn to design some simple models for smart structures and material, because you have modeling equation in each chapter. So that helps you to be more strong in mathematical modeling for some structures, at least one structure per module. Next, you will be able to devise experiments to verify the predictions. The predictions, what you find out in mathematical equations, could be checked experimentally. If a supporting lab is there, then you will be very happy. Okay, what I have derived in the mathematical equation, you are proving that by doing experimentation. And always understand the mathematical result and the true experimentation result will not match always. There will be some deviations, but it has to be nearly to the theoretical approach. If it is showing two different deviations, then it proves that the mathematical model what you have created is not up to the mark, or experimentation part you might have gone wrong in fine-tuning the materials and doing the required activities. So this is the third outcome what you will be understanding. And lastly, you will be able to judge and appropriate application for a smart material with respect to the feasibility of fabrication and implementations. Means you'll be knowing the smart materials, how it operates, for which application it could be used. So you should be able to suggest which is a feasible fabrication technique to synthesize this material for this type of application in economic aspect. Okay, so these are the things what you will be learning after completion of this course. So now coming to the textbook, you have three main textbooks. One is Smart Materials and Structure by M.V. Gandhi, right? So this is the main book. Apart from that, you have one more, Smart Structures and Materials, and this is basically for analysis part. So these are the three main books which are prescribed. Apart from that, we have many reference books here. One speaks about electroceramics. What are its applications? In that you have, it is a John Willey publication. You can get ebooks also for your reference. It helps in understanding the properties and applications for different type of materials. Second reference book is Piezoelectric Sensories. So it provides you different type of piezoelectric sensors for different application, like force based, strain based, pressure based, acceleration and acoustic emission based sensors. For these type of sensors, which are the materials you can use, and how the output you are getting can be amplified, because all the output what you get might not be the required end or the required end output what you require. So there is always necessary to amplify the obtained results. So how to amplify the obtained results to get the desired output? All these are beautifully given in this book. And then related to piezoelectric actuators, you have one reference book. And related to magnostrictive materials, MR fluids I was speaking about, right? So based to understand more in depth, you have a handbook of giant magnetostrictive materials. Okay, so you can try to extract some e-copies of it. And lastly, you have a reference book for shape memory materials. So if you refer these e-books along with the main book, I'll truly tell you 100% knowledge you can gain related to smart materials and structures, and any question shooted out in the examination, you will be able to tackle and answer, and you will be strong enough. And you can also proceed further for your project also related to it. So this is a very good subject. Utilize it in a well way. So finally, examination, you will be having 2 questions to be set from each module. So you will answer 5 full questions out of the given 8 questions. So this is about the pattern of examination. So I hope, is it clear enough? So this is the entire, this is the entire syllabus and the book what you have to refer for smart materials and structures. I hope you have understood the meaning and the essence of smart materials and structures, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So from next class, we will start up with the module 1 in depth. Okay. I hope you people have written your name and USN in the chat room. Kindly do type it. If you are free to ask any doubts in between, if you find any difficulty, or if you need to change the way of explanation also, you're free to tell at any time. Okay.
Sure, ma'am.
Overall, how many students are there in your batch?
6, ma'am.
6. Okay. 2 more have not joined. Just inform them from the next class. I need all the students. Okay. Okay, then all have typed. Take care and be safe. We will see you again on tomorrow's class. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, then take care. Bye-bye.